welcome. It's another week of the Hot Seat. And we are here with, it's me, Donovan Sadiq, Pastor Don, Sean, 4-time, mean as can be, and he's got a lot to say. And of course, we've got Magic Mad Max in the house. So everybody, how you doing? Max, first of all, how was your trip?
Trip was great.
Okay, good.
I will be going back.
Okay.
I don't know when.
Okay, and where did you go again?
Minnesota. I went to St. Paul, Minnesota. I went to Brooklyn Park, Minnesota.
Okay, what all my listeners my age want to know is, did you go to Paisley Park and see Prince?
Oh, that's what my aunt asked too, and I'm so sorry.
Us old folks,
no,
you did not. Oh my God, that is now official
He
shrine.
wasn't interested in taking me. Yes. And I'm not a huge Prince fan. Love Prince. Sorry, Dad, you're gonna kill me when you hear that. But yeah, I guess it's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
So next trip, we'll plan for that. I'll let him know. I didn't even know it was there.
Yes, that's where he's from, Minnesota.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Sean, you're starting the week out. You got a lot of stuff for us. Sean's going to be running the show today because he has a lot to say about some of these amendments because the absentee ballots are out.
Yeah.
And so Sean's going to go ahead and lead us in that and kind of give you guys an idea of what these amendments are about and where we're going with that. And Pastor Don, we got over 4,000?
Over 4,000?
4,321 or something like that listeners from yesterday from our show. And again, like I said, you're doing a great job. We love your messages. We thank you for coming out every other week to come sit with us and keep Max in check here because we need to pray for her. That girl, we need to pray. So thank you again for coming out and doing that. And again, we're here at the Fredericks Starbucks every Wednesday, 4 to 6, but we're going to be going into Edgemont Studios. Everybody says, where's Edgemont Studios? That's my house. That's my garage. We're going to go in there because it's really, really cold. My kitchen is coming together, so everything's coming together. But Daryl Terrell, he is running around doing his thing. He's going to stop in real quick. He's doing some work, and we'll go ahead and start without him. But go ahead, Sean, what do you got for us, man?
Well, I was got a little more information on Prop 63, Gavin Newsom's gun control initiative, and not only does law enforcement oppose it, but now I'm finding out that the federal firearms license holders, mostly the dealers, have no idea how this thing is supposed to be implemented. They don't have any direction on how this law even is supposed to work. And it's just frustrating for me because they're putting all these regulations on the people that aren't committing the crimes. And
making it harder to legally attain firearms, correct?
Yeah, and it's totally unconstitutional because the Second Amendment applies to the individual. When it applies to the military, that's covered under Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution with the disposition of the military, where each state is required to raise a standing officer corps, and then, when in the event of war, raise an army from the militia that's out of the people. And that's where the Second Amendment comes in, is that when it talks about the militia, it's addressing the people. And to this day, I believe it's in Chapter 44 of the United States Code. I'm not 100% sure on that, but to this day, it still specifies that the militia is drawn from the people.
Right.
And so it just bugs me that so many of these things that politicians are doing, they're trying to fix problems that were caused by the previous time they tried to fix problems, and things that undermine the Constitution, like, I support the First Amendment, but I think we should ban hate speech. Well, hate speech, it can be is subjective, and if you turn it into anything that applies to political views, then you're basically silencing political views. The Second Amendment has nothing to do with hunting, actually. It has everything to do with personal defense and drawing up a military when needed, and having people ready to have proficient marksmanship skills. Because realistically, the Founding Fathers did not differentiate between someone breaking into your house, a military invasion, or having to rise up against a corrupt government. And so every time the the government tries to fix problems with their previous laws, it just makes things worse and worse. Because if you read the Bill of Rights like a manual, it's basically you have the right to freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of assembly, then the right to bear arms. The Third Amendment was about problem with soldiers in the British during the British times being
housing in the houses.
Yeah, it wasn't so much about like having the soldier there. It was the thing that they were basically being a spy on individuals. So basically, the government's not supposed to spy on you. That includes like the NSA or any of those other
got a Patriot Act
programs.
Now, so that's irrelevant.
Yeah, the Patriot Act. That's one more thing where the right to bear arms is supposed to cover the new Patriot Act too. And then Fifth Amendment, we've had some problems with that, with due process, with Patriot Act, no-fly, no-buy proposals, taking away guns without any type of due process. That's completely unconstitutional and, once again, unnecessary if they just followed things the way they were supposed to be. And it just keeps. I guess I don't want to read the whole thing right now, but now even with now another Fifth Amendment thing is like with what happened in the Oregon standoff earlier this year. The big issue with that was actually a violation of double jeopardy, that the judge was ordering some people to go back to jail for something they already served time for.
Right. Now let me ask you this as a plain devil's advocate. Now you have three powers of government. You have president, legislative, and judicial. Now, when the president can't make laws, we know that.
He's been doing that.
Well, executive orders. That's not a law.
Well, basically, it has the same force.
Yeah.
There's a checks and balances, though. He can't just decide something on
right.
his own.
Yeah, it's not a dictatorship. But
he can't put something through on his own.
Right. Exactly. But what I'm saying is, when all this is said and done, if the Supreme Court rules on it, why? My question is, why isn't the Supreme Court interpreting the Constitution as best that could be interpreted?
Well, because there's people on Supreme Court that have an agenda for a new order of things. Scalia is not there anymore, and he understood the Constitution in plain
I didn't
English.
like Scalia, but go ahead.
He understood the Constitution in plain English and understood that sometimes there's things in the Constitution. Sometimes what the Constitution says isn't necessarily something you like, but it does serve a purpose. Okay, but devil's advocate, the Constitution also excluded black people from having rights and things of that nature. So who is Scalia to be the absolute perfect person to decide the interpretation of the Constitution? Well, I was going to get to that, too. Well, the thing about that is that the statements in the Constitution describe the state of a sovereign free man perfectly, and how a government and a free man are supposed to interact and what their boundaries are supposed to be. And the thing about some subsequent amendments is that those extended those statements to the black community and to women and stuff to make sure that they are covered by those same statements.
But it just wasn't enforced.
At the time of the Constitutional Convention, applying them to black people would have been just baffling.
Right.
So that's something that had to be fixed later on, and that was addressed. But now it's just basically so many politicians, and they appoint judges that are like-minded and trying to establish a new order, and like treating the Constitution as basically like a living document. But the point of making it living, the only thing you can get from that is to make it killable. Right.
So let me ask you this: if Hillary Clinton gets elected, are we in trouble, in your opinion?
Yes. She is a full-blown psychopath. Donald Trump is...
I just now spit out my coffee, but go ahead.
Donald Trump is a very narcissistic jerk, but he's very par for the course as far as narcissistic personality disorder. And he wouldn't be the first president to have that trait. And, well,
there's checks and balances, so we don't have to worry about
that's the thing, is the Constitution is suited to provide safeguards against idiot, but if you've got someone that's a psychopath and that's got their own agenda and lives their life on conspiracies. It's like the Constitution isn't as well suited to
take care of that.
Yeah.
I've always said, watch who the vice president is, not who the president, because I think that if Trump does win, heart attack, something's going to happen, and the next guy's going to step up.
Yeah.
See, so they have a way of taking care of these things. But since we're talking about all these...
But still, I know Trump's vice president pick is even more objectionable to liberals. But the thing is that he doesn't have an agenda to undermine or alter the Constitution. So basically, even if he's elected, there are still safeguards, even from liberals' perspectives, to make sure that he's not going to do anything off the wall, which you don't really have that safeguard with Hillary.
Right, yeah, because she's going to go full bore. But I voted early, and I want everybody to know that I did vote for myself. Yes, I did.
Yes.
Okay, so I know I got one vote, but there is something when I was reading as I was voting, because I vote absentee, because I was in the military for a long time, so I voted for absentee. But Pastor Don, I wanted to ask you this question. It has to do with the death penalty here in California. I forgot which amendment it is. I'm not sure if it's 58 or which one it was.
I think it's 67.
Yeah, 67. And what they want to do is shorten the appeals and sentences so that it'd be quicker to kill these people on death row. Now, most Western civilization countries do not believe in the death penalty. And there was another amendment that said, hey, let's go to the life in prison, whatever the deal is. Now, with all this DNA, I mean, hundreds of people have been found exonerated. As a man of faith, what is your take on that particular amendment as you know it? That's what
a lot of people have asked me my thoughts on the death penalty, and my personal views is that I'm not really in favor of the death penalty. I do believe, I think that the only one who gives us breath of life every day is the Lord. So I think it's the Lord that can take breath away. So, having a government that says, no, this person's not... he's not able to live anymore, I struggle a little bit with that, because I think they're not in a position to judge like that. In regards to what you said about DNA, I read the same thing. And I've read a lot about how many incarcerated felons, very, very harsh type, hard criminals, that's been exonerated from DNA. And I think that's another reason why the death penalty needs to be looked at, because there may be a lot of innocent blood that gets put on death row and literally may be found innocent in times as time goes forward. So I'm kind of a little bit with you on that. I'm not big on the death penalty, because I think that we need to leave that type of judging to the Lord.
I'm actually the opposite. I strongly favor the death penalty, and it is sanctioned in the Bible and in the Constitution. But in the Constitution, it's like Fifth Amendment. No one can be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process. And while I think the death penalty does play a good part, because it does cull people that are causing the most antisocial problems out of society, and also keeping them in prison, people like that just create an academy for more antisocial behavior.
Right.
In prison. Basically, there's a lot of, if you look at the Old Testament, there were a lot of things that that require the death penalty, and a lot of those
stoning and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, but the thing is that each one of those was the death penalty to prevent further decay in society. That was supposed to cull people out of society that were causing the worst problems, or maybe even subtle problems that were going to grow in society later on. And I agree that we need to be careful of DNA testing, and I don't approve like saying that, okay, you're guilty, you're sentenced to death, let's go shoot him out behind the courthouse. But there should be time for to make sure to double check all the evidence. But I think that we really do need to keep the death penalty, and start actually clearing up some of the backlog of cases.
Right. Well, yeah, because they say the biggest form of killing on death row right now in the state of California is old age.
Yeah.
So it's like really a no-win situation. But speaking as a black man, and majority of people on the in death row are black or Hispanic men, and if you speed up their process, it's I'm just a firm believer that the government should not be in the revenge business, because that's really all it is.
I don't really see it as revenge. I see it as, like I've said, pulling the most antisocial behavior out of society,
right, and
also out of prisons. And as far as black people being in death penalty on death row more, I don't know if it's well, I know the term that I've heard for a variety of crimes is different patterns of offending in different communities, but also I'm wondering if juries, under that same subheading of patterns of offending, I wonder if juries tend to see things that black people are doing as more antisocial in some way than a white person.
Well,
if there's I'm just wondering if there's. I've wondered if somehow, in terms of different patterns of offending, if black people have a tendency to do something when they commit a crime, to do something more antisocial in the eyes of a jury than a pattern of offending from like white people or something.
I don't think it's that they may do something more antisocial. I think that the system and jurors,
as we're finding out now.
Right, and I'm going to go into that, are set up against black people. We're meant, and I'm saying we're because I'm a black woman, right? We're looked at already as negative, right? Because we're black and everything associated with black cats, bad, right? We're aggressive. We're already up to no good. And we see that when we see these cops killing black people before they even make it.
Like that girl in Missouri or whatever, she shot the guy because she felt
he
threatened.
Looked like a bad guy.
Yeah, no, she said she felt threatened even though he was in the car with the window up.
Right. And it's just like, they don't even get the chance to get the due process. They don't even get the chance to have the opportunity to be tried by a jury sometimes.
And then some of the cases that have come out recently where the police are faking the reports.
Right.
And
the lady who, and I can't remember, I don't know if you were talking about this one, but the guy whose car stopped in the middle of the road, who called the cops for help, right? And then a lady, female officer, is on her way to another call. She's on her way to a call, stops to then approach this black man and then shoots him and kills him. And she said she shot him because he was reaching in the window when he was standing out and the window was rolled up. You don't get to shoot someone because you felt like they were reaching in the window.
In that case, what I saw was you couldn't tell that the window was rolled up, and he did reach towards the window. But unfortunately, both the police helicopter and the body cams aren't completely clear.
Is that what you feel on that specific case? That they weren't completely clear? Because what I got from that case was that there was people in this helicopter and there was people on the ground and it was white officers assuming that this black guy, they said, oh, he looks like a bad guy. Why? Why does he look like a black guy?
That was the helicopter guy. He didn't have any say in the shooting, and also the helicopter was on the opposite side of the car from where the shooting took place.
So you felt like she was in the right for shooting this man?
I'm saying I wouldn't jump to conclusions on that one. I think that's going to take an actual jury to figure that one out, because I think there's a lot of things.
Why don't they tase them? Because I see tons of videos of white men fighting back cops that get tased. They don't get shot right away. They can reach in their pockets. They can fight officers.
I can't speak for any of those cases, and quite frankly, I wouldn't be sympathetic to a white guy that did anything like that either.
That's a very, very good topic. Very good topic. And that's what I like about this show, because we have difference of opinions and things like that. We got a godly man here to be the referee, thank God.
He's out of there. Yeah, he's that back.
He's that back. But like I said, all opinions are valid. I mean, that's the way I look at things. So everybody's going to look at it from their perspective. So Sean definitely has a good way of looking at it. And you have a good way of looking at it, Max, especially as somebody who's going to be a mom of a young black person someday.
Stop that.
Someday, maybe. But locally, did you see the city council meeting last night?
Unfortunately, no. I was busy.
Okay. They are now starting to talk about truck infrastructure.
Finally?
Now, isn't that funny? After when Donovan says, let's do a debate when the political season started, oh, that's stupid. Oh, no, you don't need to do that. Then we do one. Our show put a one on, was very successful. Oh, let's do some more at the end of the political season. Donovan's been talking about truck infrastructure as a logistics person, saying that you do not condemn your city to warehouses. You have to address the trucks first. Then, by addressing how many trucks you're going to have and what you're going to need to support those trucks, then you calculate how many warehouses are going to be in conjunction with the trucks that you have. Or your warehouses are not going to work. And anybody in logistics, that's basic logistics that I took at the...
Right, I was going to say that you took at RCC.
Let me reemphasize that. At the logistics thing over there, that's basic logistics 101. And now they are just now talking about it. And from what I got at the thing last night, I watched it on TV, we are now... and Molina called out Ito because a lot of stuff was being geared toward the developer, what he needs and what we're going to pay for and all this other stuff. It's really interesting. You should have seen it. It was incredible. So it's just amazing that when I say something, it's stupid, but then if somebody else says the same exact thing, what a great idea.
You don't have any credibility.
Yeah, I definitely don't. So.
I'm not opposed to warehouses. I'm opposed to trying to build an entire economy on them.
Right. That's what I've been saying.
I'm not opposed to trucks. I'm just saying we don't have the freeway infrastructure or the logistical infrastructure to accommodate the trucks and the drivers. I just think that where on the east side it's especially a bad place. On the south side, the southwestern side, I mean, it's still not as great as it could be, but it's better.
I live in Edgemont, and Edgemont is the area. If you had to do it as a logistical expert, that's where you would put a major warehouse. Rather than a mall and all this other stuff, this area would have been primed for warehouses because it's right near an interstate.
Yeah.
And train tracks and an airport, things like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know logistics, right? So I'm going to ask before I sound stupid. But don't they build all these shopping centers right off of interstates so people are like, oh, I see that?
Well, no, because interstates were made by President Eisenhower, which is for the military and heavy equipment. So when a car is on an interstate, that's actually just a courtesy. So that when you're on the interstate, you shouldn't get mad when there's trucks and stuff on there because you're the inconvenience. That's why we have state highways like the 60 freeway.
Oh.
See, that's what you're supposed to be riding on as a citizen of California.
What interstate are you referring to?
Any interstate.
No, but right now, like in Edgemont. What interstate?
The 215. The 215.
Okay.
So there we go, like that. But switching course real quick, I just want to ask Pastor Don.
One thing I recently found out that just everyone for your FYI, I found out that a lot of your adult novelties ship locally from that warehouse.
Okay.
So just FYI, the employees there do get a little bit of comedic relief from the stuff you people buy, and there are some really sick people in this town from what I hear.
Can I ask you, how did you recently know?
Because I know someone that worked in those warehouses.
Gotcha.
And they were just saying, they were just mad about getting laid off, and they said that one of the things that made it better was that they got to laugh at all the stupid things and bizarre things that people would buy from there.
Right, absolutely. But Pastor Don, let me ask you, how is everything going with the church plant, and what can we do to assist you? Please give us some update on that.
Well, I'm excited. I'll tell you, I'm just excited about October 29th.
Yes.
Max is going to be there.
Max, you're going to be there, right?
Max is going to be there.
That is the goal, guys.
God will drive you. Donovan, I'll tell you, I can't be more excited. You mentioned that we had a fairly large following, our listeners on a couple of days ago on my devotional.
Yeah.
All I can say again is, folks, I'll tell you, this is the ground floor of God's plan of a church out there. I'll tell you, there is nothing, and I've been in business all my life. I've done it all, except for the military, but I've done it all, and I have never been more exhilarated than finding people coming to the Lord. There's nothing more exciting. And having a church plant starting from the ground floor in which you, the listeners, can be basically the decision makers of how this church runs and where this church goes, and how the direction. It's exciting. It really is. So everything's going great. I'll tell you. I'm getting some comments, and it's very positive. All I ask is please come by on October 29th, Saturday between 11 and 1. Anytime between 11 and 1. You don't have to stay. You can come for a few minutes, grab some information, have a snack, and then meet me and meet Donovan, and then head on your way. But it'll be a great chance for you to get to know more information. We're going to have a Bible study after that, probably a week starting after that, and then we're going to have we're going to get started on this church plant.
And so basically, we're going to start building stone by stone, piece by piece.
That's exactly what.
And take our time doing it.
Are you going to have a building for services soon?
Well, that's what I'm working on now. Unfortunately, Rancho Belago does not have any open buildings. We have a couple options. Of course, the school's out there is an option.
Yeah.
There's a Seventh-day Adventist church. That's an option.
We can share, right?
I've got a number of people, including mayoral candidate George Price, helping me trying to find a building. But for right now, the answer is no. But see, we do have options, and that's the great thing, because I'm not the one going to make that decision. Everyone who's involved in this church plant will make those decisions. But so yeah, it's really exciting, and the thing that's exciting is not actually. It's the events after the 30th, or the 29th, excuse me, because that's when we're going to meet. We're going to get together in the Word. We're going to share bread together, and then we're going to just kind of go through a checklist of what we need to do for this church plant.
Right.
So, Donovan's awesome. Everything's going great, and like I said, I just pray that everybody shows up on the 29th in order at the event and meets me and hopefully goes forward with
Well, from what I'm hearing on the early election results, I am currently the front runner, and Pastor Don is praying that I lose this election because
we need you.
Yes, and Pastor Don wants to do great things, and he this is a man of vision, and his thing yesterday was about vision, and I thought about that and I prayed about that. And this ain't a political or this ain't a religious show, whatever the deal is, but I do, as a Catholic, I do believe in what I believe.
But let me clarify that, Donovan. I do want you to win.
He wants me to win, but he wants me to lose at the same.
He wants you to win, but he wants you to be his partner.
Well, it's yeah, exactly, Max. It's not that if Donovan won, District 1 wins. So I mean, from that standpoint, he is your best candidate. I'm not endorsing anybody because I'm not a political guy.
Right.
Even though before I leave, we are going to be praying for this debate tonight. But he is the best candidate, and he will make District 1 better. But I just see that his influence through his hot seat show, through all the things that he's doing on his radio, is just so impressive, so big, that I just see him that he could make it. He could be the voice of Moreno Valley. I mean, his reach could be amazing. He could be the one that starts a call-in radio show that you, the listener, you, the citizens, can call in and be able to have a voice on this radio show. So I just see a vision of this show being amazing.
His vision for you is grander than what you can do in the office.
Well, absolutely. I mean, me and Pastor Don talk about that all the time. And I thank you for that pitch. But again, I started this show so that we can get together like Max and Mad Max and Mean Sean Fortine, and they start fighting, and just difference of opinion. So we can this is where we can voice what's really going on. Like I said, Sean didn't see the city council. I did. It's just a way to get your opinion out there, and that's one of the biggest things that I wanted to do, and get people involved. Because the problem, again, in politics is people are just so busy with their lives that they just don't have time.
Speaking of the city council, it's nice that they talked about truck stop and truck infrastructure, but they do a lot of that, and sometimes they do even make a ceremonial gesture to try and follow through on it. But
by the way, it was put off to another.
See, that's exactly.
It was put off to another agenda item, so they're pushed off. But Pastor Don, me and Pastor Don talk a lot, and like I said, I always wanted to be a part of building a church, and so I'm going to fellowship with Pastor Don, and we're going to go ahead and build this church piece by piece, rock by rock, and we're going to, as he's building his church, I want to build this organization and just get out there and just get people to come on, and like I said, we're going to go into the video show. We're going to take advantage of the internet and use that, because that's the new media, because people are tired of these 6 families that control the media and what we see and hear on TV.
Well, and that's the whole idea of why, if you say I want you to lose, that would be the only reason, because you could be doing so much more good for the entire city of Moreno Valley through this show. I mean, of course you could do amazing work for District 1, and I truly believe you would. But this show has, like, bringing Max on for what, her specialty, which I think is amazing. Having a pastor involved from the spiritual standpoint, having Sean in regard to...
Left winger.
television. But then your vision is to even expand it even more and then bring people in so they can be informed. To me, that's what Moreno Valley needs.
Right.
They really need a forum that they can listen to real talk, not fluff, and be able to join in and really have an opinion.
Right.
I think that's what this show does.
Right wing to the point where you might want to, if Hillary wins, you might want to do a video conference with me because I might be the next one to get hit with a drone strike after Assange.
Right.
I didn't know you were such a non-Hillary fan.
I'm not a Hillary fan either.
I know that.
Yeah, I'm not a Hillary fan.
You shared
either.
that too.
I'm not a Hillary fan.
Yeah,
either.
so Max is she's with her person. She's the only one with her.
Well, shoot.
I don't think any of us is real big
I think I already posted on
fans,
the Hot Seat Facebook page that meme about this election is basically like choosing which type of bullet you want to be shot with.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's just bad.
Yeah, for me, the lesser of two evils.
It is.
Right. That's true. It's lesser of two evils, but in the end, they're the same person with a different face. That's all it is. I mean, when it comes down to it.
I know you probably haven't, but have you seen the face slaps?
No.
From Hillary?
I haven't seen it.
Oh my gosh, guys. Please.
Go check it out.
Go to Google and Google
it out.
face swap.
Space swap. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Good. But so that was the thing, the local thing. Also, Jesse Molina, he called out the developer, by the way, so that was a big thing. But in the end...
Wait, what did he say?
He just was basically saying how, the city staff needed more money in regards to some things. I came in at the last minute. And he was like, well, what is this money for? And they never could, articulate what the money was for. And they were saying, well, if the developer needed more money, we don't have to go to you guys. We can just authorize it, and it makes it smoother and faster.
The developer needs to go talk to a private bank if this project is so great.
That's not going to happen when he's got a private bank called Citizens of Moreno Valley. So you just can't beat that. So
I already don't trust the city staff. I mean, in the event of an emergency, I think we'd all have to hurry up and form private militias and pool our resources and our skills. Maybe some guns, but there's a lot more to saving a community than just arming up. So we're going to need to have stockpile basic living supplies, have some skills to share.
Well, remember, there's a United States military air base right next door to us who have that might.
Yeah, but first you have to light a fire under the city manager, maybe the mayor, to get any disaster relief help.
Right. Now here's something they also talked about last night that was very important on the agenda: the GE or Edison light poles.
Yeah.
And they finally got that on the agenda, but the problem is this. Edgemont was left out again, and Miss Jimson was just like, "Oh, well, how does that reflect on Edgemont? Because we operate as a HOA over there, whatever the deal is." But they couldn't decide which poles are they going to buy, and it was just a mess. If you didn't know what was going on, you couldn't have followed it. But so I suggest everybody go back and watch the replays of it. Go on the internet, look it up. But again. They didn't vote on it. I don't think they did, and it was put off till the next agenda.
That's stupid because the sooner they do that, the hurry up they can start. It's going to be an initial investment, but I'll have to double check the calculation I did. But something like a cumulative saving of $40 million over the course of 20 years. Right.
The lady that did it, because I guess with the Edison has the wherewithal to upgrade and stuff like that. She's saying over 20 years it was like $8 million or something like that. But there were savings in it over the long haul.
Well, faster we kick Edison out, the quicker we can actually start saving.
Right. And then the question that was just the poles. We didn't even talk about the LED lights.
Yeah.
See, so that's a different issue altogether.
Well, the LED light technology is getting better and cheaper, and if you just replace those when a regular bulb goes out, then that's not going to be any significant financial hit. But what I'm hoping for is that maybe someday maybe we can use a data over a power system to where it's you can use a data signal over your power cables to control some of the lights. And then, because I don't think necessarily all the lights have to be on all the time.
Yeah, and they were talking about that last night as well. It doesn't have to be on all the time.
Yeah, you only some lights only need to be on when something bigger than a cat passes by. Some lights don't necessarily need to be on all times of the night. And especially if it's like if the sun's going down or coming up, then you don't necessarily need all lights on at the same time anyways, because you still got a little bit of light in the sky.
Right. Now in Moreno Valley, we have Edison, we have the Edgemont Light District, and we have the Moreno Valley Utilities Commission. So, that's one of the problems. We have these three commissions. It's just a big mess.
Yeah, and now then there's the issue that Edgemont doesn't want to
incorporate.
Yeah, they don't want to incorporate, and that needs to be addressed, because when everything crashes, all of a sudden they're going to start crying.
And out. That's right. You doggone right we will. And that's what I've been talking about. How long are we going to kick these problems down? Either we're a part of Moreno Valley or we're not.
Yeah. So personally, I think that if it does come down to everything breaks down in Edgemont and they cry for help, that I think the city needs to be able to seize whatever assets they have left to pay for the repairs.
And that's what I was saying about public domain. There's different phases of public domain, and there's ways you can do it. And when people hear public domain, they start panicking immediately. And it's not always true. So I can break that down a little bit. But now we've come to the phase Mighty Max. I'm going to say Mighty Max because, like I said, this girl's built like Wonder Woman. So Mighty Max, give us some health tips for this week, and what should we be looking for when we're working out, or how should we be eating? Tell us
this
something.
Week we're really focused on nutrient timing.
Nutrient timing.
Does anyone know what nutrient timing is?
No,
I would
we do
be
not.
So impressed.
No, we don't.
Okay, so I know we highlighted the importance of eating breakfast within 30 minutes of waking up, glass of water, right? We talked about breakfast metabolic rate. Nutrient timing plays a big role into all of those. So you want to make sure you're getting some sources of healthy protein into your body.
Wait. You're saying protein. What kind of protein? No, that's
right. Pastor Don is here.
Yo, sorry, Pastor Don. Sorry.
I'll be leaving in a few minutes. You guys can talk about all that protein.
Sorry. Yeah.
But my favorite, and I'll walk you through my regular day, right? So protein every 3 to 4 hours. Okay. And sources of protein can be almonds, peanuts. I always say go with the almonds over anything, right? Guys, do not eat 25 almonds. You're going to eat 10. 10 is a nice serving because it's still a healthy fat. I love canned tuna, so a nice go-to snack for me after I've had my morning shake for breakfast. 3 hours later, I'll have a snack. And for me, a lot of the times, depending on what my day looks like, that can look like a can of tuna with fresh squeezed lemon juice. So I'll chop up half a lemon, squeeze it over the can of tuna, put it over a bed of spinach, and I'm good to go. Now I've got a super low calorie meal because the tuna is 0 calories, right? I might, if I'm feeling frisky, put a little bit of vinaigrette on there or something, but usually it's the lemon juice with a serving, a full cup of veggies. So now you got your cup of veggies in, you got your protein in, you're gonna have some energy, and you're gonna feel amazing. And I love the canned tuna because for people who work in the office setting, or for people who are always on the go, it's so quick and easy to keep a box of spinach in your refrigerator. Oh, extra tip, to keep your lettuce fresh, after you open it, if you're like me and you buy pre-washed lettuce in boxes from Costco, you can put a paper towel in there and it'll make sure your lettuce doesn't wilt, guys. So
really?
Yeah. Okay. Shout out to Mama Max. My mother taught me that.
Okay.
Put a piece of paper towel inside your box of lettuce and it'll keep it fresh.
Yeah, that reminds me of like when you burn your rice, you put the bread on top.
I didn't even know that one.
Sorry, I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
That's old biased. I don't know if it works. But.
For those of you who are looking to keep healthy things around, because a lot of people, we snack throughout the day, and snacking is super important, but it's when you're snacking, what you're snacking on, and how often you're snacking. So rather than keeping a box full or a drawer full of cookies or Snickers, or for me, Trolley gummy worms, instead, in your office refrigerator, keep 5 cans of tuna, a box of lettuce, or preferably, for you guys who are looking to get really healthy, spinach, romaine lettuce, things that are darker green. Iceberg lettuce is...
What about kale?
Kale is
like
great.
Right.
If y'all get into kale like that, you are dope. I'm not necessarily the biggest kale fan. If kale's mixed with something, we can get there.
For our black listeners, we got to have them greens.
Yeah,
we got to have them greens. Is that good?
It doesn't do it for me,
Okay.
And so the darker the green, the better it is. And you just want to make sure you have small servings of lean protein throughout the day.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Okay, I'm a warehouse worker, and I only get 15 minutes to work to go. I got 30 minutes for lunch, and I got to walk almost a half a mile to go to the break room and then come back.
Oh, you work at Amazon.
Yeah. I mean, a nightmare, horror story. But I'm at work, and I want to do some kind of exercises to keep me. You have any suggestions with that?
Yes. Oh my gosh. So first off, you can always, and I do this myself, guys, Google like 4-minute blast workout or 15-minute blast workout, something nice and quick. But when I wake up, I hit 100 squats, I do 100 jumping jacks, I do 100 sit-ups.
Okay, I'm a 50-year-old man.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about these
talking
grandparents that are working at warehouses to support their grandchildren and things like that. So let's like that.
First off, I'm sorry?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great, because I didn't even know things like that were happening.
Yes.
Secondly, I would just suggest a brisk walk. So I'm going to say your lunch should be a shake, right? A protein-based shake. Herbalife is the best, but protein-based shake, and you want to make sure while you're drinking your shake, you're going for a walk, keeping that physical activity up, if that's something you're looking to do. Now, if you're just looking to have a healthy lunch, pack it. Save yourself money. For those of you who haven't put it into realization, if you eat out every day, it's $10 a meal, right?
Absolutely.
Unless you're, a broke college student and you're eating off the dollar meal. But if you're a working adult, you're usually spending $10 to eat. And let's say you do that 5 days a week, that's $50 a week. That's a lot of money over the month.
That's $200
a month. Minimum. We're not even talking about going out with your friends. We're not talking about Taco Tuesday. We're not talking about taking your lady out. We're not talking about feeding your kids when you get home. We're talking about you eating lunch every day at work for $10 a day. That's $200 a month. Where people are sitting here looking at their bank accounts every month at the end of the month, like, I don't have any money. It's because you're lazy. That's
Moreno Valley as a whole. Yeah.
Right? And it's like, why can we find 25 McDonald's around a 30-mile radius, but fresh food is hard to find?
Yeah.
Especially in low-income areas. And that's why parents feel like it's easier to just grab their kid a burger. It is easier.
Right, or to go to Winco and get a big stacks of Top Ramen.
Right. Oh my gosh, Top Ramen. Or pizza every night. These things, what happens is we teach our children habits, right? And so it's 70% lifestyle and 30% hereditary genes, right?
I've been having some medical issues that limit my diet, but the way it always worked best for me was just to shop around the perimeter of the grocery store. Oh my gosh,
yes. That's the only place you should shop. You should not go in the middle of the grocery store, guys. Okay. The things on the outside is important. And I found that a lot of that stuff keeps me full longer than the stuff in the middle of the grocery store too.
See, I did not know that.
It's a little more expensive, but it actually goes a lot farther.
Yeah.
See, I did not know that.
Okay. Literally, like, here's the deal, because on the outskirts of the grocery store, you're going to find the fridges. You're going to find fresh produce, right? That's always on the outskirt. Stay away from extra carby bread. You're going to find the good things that you need to have. And I always suggest that to my clients. When you go inside the grocery store, you shouldn't see the middle aisles. Why are you buying cereal? For what? You're going to start your day off with sugar and carbs? And then an hour later, you're hungry. Same thing with coming and getting little breakfast sandwiches places. I know how much people are spending driving through Starbucks or Carl's Jr. or anything. You're spending $8 to $10 on breakfast to be cranky an hour and a half later and to crash from your coffee. So definitely making sure you're keeping the lean protein throughout the day. So if you wake up at 7 a.m., have breakfast by 7:30, boost your metabolism by 11:30, nice healthy lean-based protein snack, and then, a well-balanced lunch. Again, emphasis on well-balanced lunch. 3 hours later, and I eat after 8 p.m. I eat after 10 p.m. If I'm up, there's some days I'm up for 30 hours. So if I'm up, I'm eating. My body needs the energy.
Okay, great. Well, we're going to go ahead and take a break right here. We are at the Starbucks off Fredericks, and just come on and have a coffee. Pastor Don is here with us. He's going to be breaking out. He's got some things to do. Sean Fortine has some things to do, but in the second hour, we're still going to be here talking about some stuff. Daryl Terrell might stop by. But as we go into break, again, we want you guys to think about voting. You got to vote. I know you might not like the candidates, but there's one really great candidate in District 1. He's doing a lot of stuff. I don't want to be biased toward the guy, but he's kind of good looking. He's coming up. Donovan Sadiq, the guy's very, very, he's very, very innovative, and we need something. Hot. We need something very, very, good going. So, again, I know we have a lot of friends out there, but we got to stop voting for our friends, because that might be a lot of the problem. So, this has been The Hot Seat.